Two people earn almost the same amount of money. 10 years later, one of them is exhausted, still trading every hour for a paycheck, still one bad month away from disaster. The other has options, breathing room, and a life that mostly runs without them. Same income, completely different outcome. And the difference didn't come from how much they earned, it came from what they chose to buy with it. Because one of them kept buying things, and the other quietly was buying something almost nobody thinks to purchase. They were buying time. By the end of this video, you'll see money in a way that's hard to unsee. And you'll understand why the wealthy and the broke can look at the exact same dollar and see two completely different things. Let's start with how most people are taught to see money without ever realizing they were taught. For most of us, money has one obvious job. It buys stuff. You work, you earn, you spend. A better phone, nicer clothes, a newer car. The reward for effort is things, right? And the more things, the more successful you feel. This isn't stupidity. It's how nearly everyone is raised to think. Money comes in, money turns into objects, and those objects are proof that the work was worth it. But here's the quiet problem with buying things. Almost everything you buy starts losing value the moment you own it. The phone ages, the car depreciates, the clothes go out of style. You traded hours of your life, hours you'll never get back, for objects that are slowly shrinking in value from the second you swipe the card. You spent something that never comes back to get something that never lasts. Now let's look at how wealthy people are often observed using the same dollar because it's a different mental category entirely. When someone with a wealth mindset gets money, a different question runs in the background. Not what can I own, but what can this free me from? They look at money as a tool for buying back their own hours, paying someone to handle the tasks that drain them, investing in things that earn while they sleep, removing problems that would otherwise cost them time and energy every single week. To them, the dollar isn't for acquiring objects, it's for acquiring freedom. And freedom, unlike a phone, doesn't depreciate, it compounds. That's the entire split in one sentence. Poor thinking uses money to get things that lose value. Wealthy thinking uses money to buy time that gains value. But let's go deeper, because this raises an obvious objection. Someone's thinking right now, that's easy for rich people. They can afford to buy time. I can barely afford my bills. And that objection feels true. But it hides the actual mechanism, which works in the opposite direction than people assume. Buying time isn't what you do after you get wealthy. For most people, it's what quietly makes them wealthy in the first place. Here's why. Time is the one resource you can convert into almost anything else. With free time, you can learn a skill, build something on the side, rest enough to think clearly, look for better opportunities instead of being trapped in survival mode. Every hour you buy back is an hour you can invest into a future that pays you more. But every hour you sell for cheap and then spend that cash on things is an hour gone twice. Once when you worked it, and again when you turned it into something that fades. The person buying things is running down their most valuable resource to accumulate their least valuable one. The person buying time is doing the exact reverse. Now let's make this real because it isn't only about hiring help or big investments. It shows up in small, daily decisions most people never notice. Think about someone who buys the cheapest possible version of something they use every day. And it breaks, and they repair it and replace it again and again, losing hours and money each time. They saved money and quietly spent their life. Compare that to someone who pays a bit more once for something reliable that never steals another minute of their attention. That's buying time. It looks like spending more. It's actually spending less of the thing that matters most. Or think about the person who drives an hour each way to save a little on rent versus the person who pays slightly more to reclaim 2 hours of their life every single day. Over a year, one of them bought back weeks of waking life. The other sold it for a small discount. These aren't dramatic choices. They're quiet ones made over and over, and they compound into two completely different lives. So here's how you actually start thinking like this. Today, with whatever you have. Before your next purchase, ask one question. Not, can I afford this? That's the question that keeps people stuck. The better question is, does this buy me time or does it cost me time later? A reliable tool that saves you hours buys time. A cheap one that breaks costs it. A skill that raises your income buys time. A pile of objects that need maintaining, insuring, and storing cost it. Even a purchase as small as a meal can buy time back on an impossible day, or drain it, depending on the moment. You're not trying to stop spending, you're trying to change what you're spending on, from things that shrink to time that grows. And here's the deepest part, the one worth sitting with. The reason this is so hard isn't financial, it's emotional. Things are visible. You can hold them, show them, be seen with them. Time is invisible. Nobody notices the 2 hours you saved or the freedom you're quietly building. There's no applause for it. So people chase the visible reward and neglect the invisible one. Right up until the day they realize the visible things gave them a momentary feeling, and the invisible thing would have given them their life back. You will never get a single hour of your life back. That's the one purchase that's final, which makes time the most expensive thing you own and the thing most people sell the cheapest. The wealthy figured out something simple. Protect the hours. Spend money to defend them, grow them, free them. Let the things come later, if they come at all. So the next time money passes through your hands, remember the real question underneath every purchase. You're never just buying an object. You're either buying your time or quietly selling it. Choose like it's the most valuable thing you have, because it is. If this shifted how you see your own spending, subscribe. Because next time, we're breaking down the small daily money habits of people who built wealth on an ordinary income.